It is very safe to say that this has been one of the most uncomfortable, unsettling, uneasy time periods to be a crypto holder, despite where Bitcoin is versus a year ago, where last year at this time we were at 19K. Now we're sitting at about 55K. The volatility has been absolutely insane. What's boiling over in the economy is pretty crazy at this moment in time. We're going to go over all of that. We'll talk about the markets, but also I want to answer a bunch of pressing questions on this show. When we used to live stream here on the channel, I would always go through and answer your guys' most pressing questions. What do I think of this token? What should I do if I'm in these positions? Or just general questions across the market. So I'm going to go over all of that and more, including, is this bull run over? You're going to want to stick around. Drop down, like the video, and subscribe for more on In the Game. Obviously, those of you who stick around during the good times, fantastic. But the ones who stick around during the dark times of the market, you're the guys who are really going to make it, guys and girls, of course. You are the ones who are really going to make it this cycle if you stick around during the hard times. And that's what we're seeing right now is the definite hard times. And a quick shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. We have 𝗬𝗟𝗧𝗏, Moon Tropica, we have Real Fever, we have Blowfin, Bybit, Mexi, BitGet, all the above for exchanges. So you can link in the description down below for all of our sponsors. Let's jump into it here. So, obviously 18% down on Bitcoin over the 7-day time period, 23% on Ethereum, 28% on Sol. Sol was in like the 110s when I woke up today, which is just absolutely insane to see. Luckily, we are seeing a little bit of a bounce across certain altcoins. We see 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥 just continuing to lead the market, which is a new meme coin that launched about last week. We have 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥𝗏 up 22% on a bounce. 𝗨𝗨𝗏, which is a meme coin I'm pretty bullish on, up 21%. We have Brett bouncing just a little bit. Some of these alts are getting into the green, but most of the alts here are still just absolutely decimated from what we're seeing in the market right now. And at the end of the show, I'll go through what I'm doing as far as this time period, because you don't want to deploy every ounce of capital that you have, because what I've seen across just sentiment is a lot of people are fully deployed and they're wondering what the heck they do. Do they sell their positions to protect downside? I don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do. But I'll go over positions that I would be getting into at this point in time, my logic behind that, as well as just in general where I think this market is headed. We'll talk about that at the very end of the show. But Miles posted a great tweet. It's like a great TLDR. Like, I am not the macro guy. I am not the, type of market climate TA, anything like that. So Miles covers everything here in this tweet. I thought it was fantastic. Reasons why crypto is crashing. We have the presidency odds for Trump decreasing, recession fears, stock market corrections, the yen unwind. The Japanese economy right now is just looking absolutely abysmal. The geopolitical tensions, jump unwinding positions, GOX distributions, recent pump trapped fresh longs, and altcoin dispersion. It really is a perfect storm, and there's just a lot of stuff causing this current market dip. But the first QA question, the last one will be, what am I buying? What am I doing at this time in the market? But the first question that we have is the bull run over? And I am going to confidently say no. Let's just go to Bitcoin here. And I want to make a few examples of the all-time Bitcoin chart here. So traditionally speaking, we have the 2020 run up, after the thing that happened that year. I don't want to say it for YouTube purposes, but the thing that kept you all in your houses in 2020, we saw a run up from 11K to 60K by April of 2021. But then we had a major sell-off all the way down to 30K from 60K, a literal 50% sell-off before we saw the peak of the bull. I think we're in that time period. Now, do I think we're going to dip 50%? I don't think so. I think we're going to see rate cuts. I think we're going to see maybe the U.S. even pull out all the stops, maybe a little bit of a liquidity injection to try to save. They can't have a failing economy / recession at the time of an election. Just the overall thesis of that for them does not look good. So I 100% expect some action from the U.S. side to probably do the same thing in 2020, lower rates, and probably put some capital into this market. And that's going to be very bullish for the future. So to me, this bull run is not over. We've seen this traditionally. The volatility heading into new all-time highs is just absolutely tremendous. We had this swift run-up just now, right here. And we see a little bit of chop, I think we probably will continue to go sideways, maybe even grind a little down just with the news that's coming out. But if we start getting rate cuts, if there's a little bit of a assistance package that gets distributed, if there's anything like that, then I totally foresee these markets absolutely ripping afterwards. And personally speaking, I think this is just all part of the cycle. You know, you don't get glory from easy mode. And we were just in easy mode, meme coins and all this stuff. I still think meme coins are probably the main character of the cycle, but at the end of the day, we needed a flush. I think it was getting kind of frothy just on the, you look around meme coin Twitter and everyone's making money. It's like, okay, something's got to give here. So I think this is a healthy progression of the cycle, and I think we're right on track. So first and foremost, I don't think that the bull run is over. And now I'm going to field through some questions, as I did post this on Twitter, that my next YouTube show, this show you're watching, I'm answering all the community questions that dropped in. So let's jump into it. First question, I would like to hear your thoughts about the oversaturation in the markets, which is making liquidity for utility coins much harder. Do you think the money will rotate back into utility coins like it used to in the previous cycle? P.S. Love your content. Keep up with your content. Love it. Thank you so much, Joy, for the question and the words. But, you know, it is tough. If I go look at my watch list here, I mean, I have 134 coins here. And this is not even all of the coins that have recently launched or that are coming to market. I have so many early investments coming to market. It's like I'm a little concerned, which is why my thesis over the last few weeks has been I am consolidating my lower sized bags and lower market cap stuff up into the strength. Like, I want coins that are sure to perform and have the attention share. Stuff like Sol, Ton, 𝗂𝗧. 3 blue chips I think are just going to really crush it this cycle no matter what happens. Like, attention share has shown to be in those different types of coins. And then I'm looking across the board, high level gaming, Ronin, Beam, those are in the attention, Prime, etc. I'm looking at high level AI, Tau, Render, GPU, and then I'm looking at high level memes. I'm looking at Brett, Mog, I'm looking at stuff like Ponky and Wolf, stuff that I just think is here to stay throughout the cycle, that has enough of a community and an attention share to get that liquidity. Now, if you're going down here, you're literally gambling right now in this market. And people are always like, well, Hustle, isn't the best time to deploy into low caps right now because, you know, they're so cheap. And if they run up from here, you're going to miss it. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not missing anything. Like, if you look at the monthly chart on the low caps, down 50%, while I'm bullish on Domi, if you look at this yearly chart, it has literally gone from 5-6 cents to under a cent over the last few months. Holding low caps long term is not what's going to get you to Valhalla. Timing low caps when the market starts trickling down into them, that's how it's going to work. So for me, I've consolidated heavily into stuff that has the attention. So to your question, Joy, I think it is tough. I don't think every coin is going to have a Valhalla run like we saw last cycle. I don't think you can just spray and pray, be in any given position, and it's going to work out. I think utility coins definitely are being overshadowed by memes. I necessarily don't think that it's not going to run, but I think you need to be very selective with your bets in utility coins this time around. Cypher says, wanting to protect my wealth, should I switch out of gaming coins now before the possibility of further decline and rebuy later? Now would be a good time to consolidate out of too many tokens. So Cypher, what I would say there is if you're in 30 gaming positions, definitely consolidate them. I mean, that's just too much in general. And while I would never say, like, I don't know your entries, I don't know where you're at with your coins. Like, a lot of the stuff we bought at the bottom of the bear, we're still up on. But if you bought a little later in the alt cycle this time around, you might be a little underwater on some positions. It's all about timing at the end of the day. Like, someone could have watched during the bear and got a great entry and they're not really worried about it. Or someone could have bought at the peak of the market and they're very worried about their portfolio. So that's the difference in the market right now. So what I would say is, at least if you're in too many positions that you feel a little too widespread, I would absolutely jump in and consolidate those into your top positions at the time of the market right now. Like, let's just say you're allocated into a bunch of low caps, 30 mil and under. I would simply just consolidate those up into the strength. Stuff like Beam, which has taken an exponential dip. Ronin, same thing. If you're going into gaming, like IMX is almost $1. Like, you're looking at such value across the board here for most coins. 533 for Prime. That's ridiculous, actually. So personally, I would at the very least thin out your portfolio from a wide perspective and go harder on your top positions. That's what I would say. Droy with another question. He dropped a bunch of good questions. Is it okay I bought more micro caps like 𝗫𝗢𝗥𝗎𝗓 to lower my average ROI? Or is it better to stick with top blue chips like Beam, Super, and Ronin? Look, I still have bets on smaller coins too. Like, I just am not as sized in. So I don't necessarily think, in order to make a 10x off a 𝗫𝗢𝗥𝗓 or a WAGMI, you don't necessarily need a massive bag. So like, while I'm putting 5% of my portfolio into RON, Beam, etc., because they're high-level infrastructures, you could literally put 1% of your portfolio in a $9 million WAGMI games here, and that can turn into 5% of your portfolio with a 5x. All it has to do is get to 45 mil. So you can still have conviction in microcaps. Is it the best time to be delving into them? Not necessarily, but definitely you don't need to put as much capital into them. So if you're worried about that, at least your sizable plays should be the top blue chips, and then your less size plays should be those microcaps. I had to include this one because this person said that I wouldn't answer this one, but this should be freaking obvious. Do you ever talk about any gaming coin without getting paid or holding? You'll probably not answer it in your video, so I'll give you an easier one. Would you promote a trash or scam because they pay? Look, no and no. So, look, I've talked about coins that I don't hold, but they're not paying me to do that. I can be bullish on things that aren't in my portfolio. And then secondhand, we disclose all the sponsorships here. It's very public projects that I advise for, ambassador for, work with, am invested in. So no, like, first and foremost, I would never take a deal or take a marketing position or an advisor, ambassador, invest in something or push it on this show if I thought you were going to lose money on it or if I thought that it was a scam or a bad project. So absolutely not. I think a lot of influencers in the crypto space do saturate their brand from too many paid promotions. Whereas for me, if I'm not convicted into something, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be pushing it across to my audience. So the answer is no to that. I always push things that don't pay me or sometimes that I am not even holding. I'm just generally bullish on. You have been talking about retail coming in at the end of the cycle. Will they eventually come this time, though? Absolutely. With what's going on right now, I think it creates a fresh opportunity to ride up towards 70K and above for people who haven't been involved. And then on top of that, we're going to see probably some sort of a assistance package from the U.S., I would have to assume, whether it's lower rates, whether it's some sort of a stimulus, whether it's something to just keep us out of a recession. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to go in emergency mode. It's election season. There's no way they're going to let the economy get as bad as people are foreseeing it in the short term. And I think that retail are definitely going to come through. They're going to start seeing more meme coins. They're going to start seeing Bitcoin go to astronomical numbers because this time around, most people didn't even know that Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. It just wasn't publicized a lot. But now I think that the next time we run up, it's definitely going to be publicized. And the retail's going to come through memes. Let's just be real. Like, retail's coming through memes. Retail's coming through gaming. Like, if Off the Grid is a hit, retail's going to play that game and they're going to like it and they might dive deeper. And retail's definitely 1,000,000% going to go to meme coins because that's just how people operate. Like the memes are culture right now. So yes, I do believe retail is going to come. It's just a matter of time. I just had to include this one too. Mike Wagner, founder of or CEO of 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥. What's your favorite Web3 game and why is it 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥? Yeah, 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥 is crushing it. Look, and I think Polis is a fantastic position heading into the bull. I really like Polis as far as a utility token in the gaming space. So I do have to say, like, if you take a look at 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥, their progress, and then you compare it to other games that have been on the same timeline or that just are building in Web3, I mean, 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥 is absolutely crushing it. Sareem asks, and I see Sareem in the comment section all the time, shout out to you, but those who are overly down on coins like 𝗬𝗢𝗏, Dubs, and Bull, yeah, 3 low caps, is it worth doubling down at these prices to average lower or add to bags like AVAX, Beam, Ronin, etc.? So in today, it might not be a horrible idea to DCA into those, but however, I would stick right now. I would let those positions just bounce back when the real bull comes around. Like, there's honestly no reason if you're down on those tokens currently to just liquidate them, because then when they run, you're going to kick yourself. So if they're not here's what I would say. If they're not a substantial part of your portfolio, then I would just add to bags like AVAX, Beam, Ron, Super, Prime, those types of coins, because they're going to run quicker when the time turns around, and then you can rotate that capital down as low caps start to get hot, rather than adding to a low cap bag that you don't really know when it's going to turn around. So I would definitely, if you have dry powder, I would be adding to your top bags, not necessarily those low cap bags at this point in time. Kadar asks, your thoughts on coins like Peer, Myria, and Citus. Is it still a good idea to hold or buy even more? I think in order of bullishness on those 3, I would say Citus, Peer, Myria. Reason being, Citus is building heavy on TON, which I really like. They have 4 million users on their brand new app. Their mobile game is getting a lot of traction now. They're making a lot of progress. So for me, Citus would be 1. 2 would be Peer. Their ecosystem is so well-rounded. The games have gotten better in the ecosystem as well, despite, a lot of people, that's what a lot of people's public FUD is about it. Problem is, it is a last cycle token a little bit. So people's attention share is more on new tokens rather than something from last cycle. And then Myria, I just don't see enough from Myria recently to warrant like adding more to that position. However, like I mentioned in the previous one, I would stick to the higher market cap stuff that's dipped tremendously, because those are literally free multiples whenever the market comes back around. It's going to be speculative whether all 3 of these get a bunch of liquidity when the market turns around, but I would say Citus, Peer, Myria. That would be what I'm currently looking at in that order. I would like to know your thoughts about Carrot. Do you have conviction about My Pet Hooligan? I do hold some good bags of it. Yes. I can't tell you how bullish I am on MPH. I have been a holder since day one. I minted. I have over 10 Hoolies. My NFT project, we hold a bunch of Hoolies. We're more than convicted. I have a huge bag of Carrot. I'm not going anywhere in that regard. So definitely bullish on Carrot. And I can't tell you just how much I love this team. The vesting is fantastic. The game is top quality. Yeah. I'm all in on Carrot. I think it's a fantastic play throughout this bull market, and it's on Coinbase, so very accessible to retail. What happened to Crown? What happened to the whole crypto market? I mean, it's the same thing. At the end of the day, all of these gaming coins are beat down. Gaming just has not been in the limelight, and Crown, like, they're still crushing it. Like, their revenue is still peaking every single day. Like, their player base is there. The community's alive and well. It is what it is. Like, gaming has just been beaten down so much that this is what happens when a narrative gets its liquidity sucked out of it because of meme coins. And it doesn't help that this is on Solana, where the meme coin casino is. So it'll come back. Crown, I freaking love Crown. I still hold Crown, and I have no doubts that this will come back by the end of the bull market. Am I buying the crypto Illuminati gaming token Bytes? So I'm a Neo Tokyo S1 and S2. I'm a longtime community member there. I've been on multiple roundtables, founders talks, etc. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily buying bytes, but my citizens are staked, so I just earn bytes. So I have bytes in my portfolio for the time period that if Becker decides to like push bytes at all, my appreciation on my bag will be there, but I'm not actively distributing capital into it, if that makes sense. So I'm taking my staked bags and just holding them. Might as well. And if those materialize, then they do. Is there a way around paying such high gas fees on the Ethereum network for some of these gaming tokens? I normally use a DEX. I would absolutely just recommend using a DEX. But yeah, the ETH gas fees, either try to trade at a time late at night or really early in the morning where the network just isn't as populated. Otherwise, like a lot of tokens have multi-chain addresses, like contracts. So if there's an other option, Binance Chain, Polygon, Arbitrum, TON, those are always pretty cheap gas. For the most part, there's not many ways to get around it unless you want to buy on a centralized exchange like a Bybit, Mexi. Those are pretty commonly listed for most tokens. And then you can just switch it out and send it to your MetaMask or whatever the case is. But it's pretty hard to avoid that at this point in time. And then what would I be buying at this point in the market? Well, as I've mentioned a few times throughout this video, I would just be going with my majors in my portfolio. So I would probably add more to TON at 530. That's freaking cheap in my opinion. Kaspa at 15 cents. It was just at 20 cents and running before this big market collapse. So TON, Kaspa, I think IMX, Ron, Beam, absolute no-brainers. I think Brett under $1 billion is free money. I think MOG is a fantastic position. Prime, super around 40 cents. Very, very good buy. And then like trickling down, it gets a little rougher. So I'm sticking to my very, very top conviction plays at this point in time. And what I would say is go farm airdrops right now. There are so many good opportunities out there between GOAT Gaming, between Super Champs, between Infinigods, Rumble Kong League. I know more projects coming out soon with their airdrop campaigns as well. So like, look, what I can say is join the road to GOAT. Join the Super Champs reward program. This is where you're going to get potential free liquidity from. So if you're all into the market, spend some time on these airdrops. Like that is one thing you can be doing. If you can't DCA into the positions that I just listed, this is absolutely a move that you could do to be able to take advantage of this time period where the market's down and you have time. Jump into these airdrop campaigns and definitely start farming because you won't regret it. These gaming airdrops are a little less saturated than those big L1 and blockchain airdrops. So this is definitely what I would be doing with my time. And then last but certainly not least, for all of this, like there's so many security compromises. The world is in shambles. The least you could do is protect your backend, stay anonymous, protect your IP address and your location. Exclusive deal right here on Banter. You get a huge discount on a year subscription, 4 extra months, 20 gigs of free eSIM data, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Down below in the description, sign up for NordVPN. I literally never record, never transact on the chain on anything but a VPN. Like I'm always signed into my VPN, so you guys can use it down below as well. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Obviously, stay safe out there. It's been a tumultuous time period and unfortunately an unforeseen time period for most. Like we knew there was lingering talk, but this has been a pretty extreme dip, like 20% down on Bitcoin. Yesterday, Bitcoin went from 60 to 50 in a day. Like that's really, really crazy if you think about that. So, you know, stay safe out there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And you guys can always ask me questions and I'll funnel them into videos like this. If you liked this format, also let me know down below. Hit the subscribe button, help us get to 100K, and we'll see you on the next one. As always, play well, my friends.